Hi guys, my name is Winnie, a girl from Kenya, and welcome to my world. So today we're doing a simple but very heartbreaking story time. I mean, it's not really heartbreaking, but it's one of things I wish I can conceal in my coffin. Thanks. As I go on in this story, I'm gonna be sipping some. This is cold soda, right? It's summer, so yeah. My journey to China. So I was in high school. My high school was called Muguri Girls High School in Moranga. And at the time, we were the second batch of national students. I have to say that. Don't ask me why. I just said it. So, during high school, I thought my life would still continue in Kenya. And no discussions were had for me to think otherwise, you know. And I continued through high school, and the first time my dad ever talked about it was in my final year when I had just finished my final exams. And I remember we were getting this, I think it was a clearance paper, and that's the first time he introduced the idea. And he was like, Winnie, do you want to study in Kenya or in China? And at the time, honestly, if I'm just gonna be honest, I didn't think it was possible. So I just told him that, you know, anywhere is okay. At the time, I had just finished my exam, so I was just excited. Like, you guys decide whatever you want. Like, I have free time before university, so it's okay. Whatever, you guys, okay. So I just told him that, yeah, that like it's okay. I would want to. Either way, I knew whether I was in Kenya or in China, I'm gonna still make it. Well, in Kenya, I had already created this friend group, and I knew that, you know, even though we encounter hardships, we were still together and we're gonna make it out, no matter how hard it was going to be. So I told my dad that, you know, either is okay. At the time, in my head, I was like, it's not possible to live Kenya, so it's okay. Let's just okay. So we go home and we wait. You know, it's a matter of silence till the results come out. The results came out. I didn't perform the best, but that's a story for another day. I cried for days, and yeah, I don't want to remember that. So I mean, I didn't fail though. I didn't fail. Just in case you want to say something. So I didn't fail. Sorry. At the time, the cabinet secretary for education was Matiang'i, so that year was tough for every student. Just as, like, keep that in mind. Yeah. Now my results are out, so it's now time for action. We applied for both China and Kenya, and in China there are usually very many steps taken, and each step you're being evaluated and you can be taken out at any particular step. So I remember the Kenyan results came out and I was called to Maseno University for actuarial science. And I think that's the first time I had to make a tough choice, because at the time in China, I was in my second step of vetting. I was in the academic review stage. And if you do not go for the orientation, or what do you call it, the opening day for the university, then it's termed as you've nullified your entrance. So Kenya came first, and I just refused to go. At this point, I was left with one choice, and it had to work. so we waited, and God is good. I passed all the steps, and now it was time. Remember, I'm still in denial. Like, I'm low-key still in denial, but I'm starting to believe that this is now going to be my life. so so I get in that same year, remember, I had just a small chance to understand that I've now become an adult, because at the same time I was getting my identification card, I got my passport, and I was now processing a visa. And my mom is busy buying things and filling them up in my this one suitcase that was bigger than me. And you know, with time I'm now understanding that, oh, okay, I'm not gonna be here. Okay, but you know, reality hasn't still kicked in. I'm still like, you know, it's fine. So I remember that days went fast, and in a matter of a small time, a lot had happened, and I didn't have time to process everything at once, you know. So now we are on the D-Day. So the D-Day, I already have my flights booked. I'm already heading to Nairobi. And one of the biggest things that was very scary for me was that I was going alone. I was gonna go for this 27+ hour flight alone in a foreign land. So we get to Nairobi. I eat good. Like, I'm very okay. I eat healthily. I'm talking. I'm very like jolly. You know, I'm calling all my relatives goodbye, goodbye. You know, we go to the airport. I'm still, you know, I get to the airport. We take pictures. I'm still active and very like okay. Now reality starts kicking in when I got the trolley and I had to put my suitcase in. And this suitcase, I remember, I think we hadn't read the plane ticket for instructions on the luggage, because I remember I just had this one big bag that was almost like 30 kgs, and it was like very heavy, and it was stressing me because I was like, how can I be able to carry it? It was carrying me instead of the other way around, and I was this small girl, like. So I had that big suitcase, larger than my life, a bag. I had a laptop bag and also a money bag. I had like very many bags. So reality starts kicking in when now I have to put my things on the trolley, and now we are making our way inside the airport. And remember, I had just turned 18, so all these things are just like, what is going on? So I'm told just at the entrance, and I feel like this is something that they should change. Just at the entrance, they deny any other person except the ticket holder the right to entry. So my parents were denied entry. So I remember at the just on the way, I kept on hitting this woman at the front, and I think that's when my dad clocked that, oh, this girl is nervous. And he kept on asking, like, are you okay? Like, I can now see that you've now started getting nervous. And one, I really wasn't able to trolley the bag. Like, the bag was heavy, so it kept on going beyond my limit. And then two, I was now like, okay, I'm about to now leave my parents. So of course I was getting like a little bit nervous. So I get in and I have to lift this suitcase again. I lift it so that I can go through, and then I'm left behind taking off my jewelry, my shoes and everything to put in the small bucket, and also letting it go. And they frisk me. I go to the other side and I'm unable to like carry the bag. And I remember there was this guy who was behind me. He helped me put the bag down. And I look up and I'm in this big place. Everyone is minding their business. Nobody cares about you. It's a large building. And I get confused for a minute, and then I start go into action, because I remember the first thing I was told to do was check in my luggage. So I'm like, where's the check-in? Where's the check-in? So I see the check-in. Thank goodness for, you know, signs and all. I go to the check-in and I put my bag, and this is where all the walls I was tightly holding on to crumbled. The first thing I was told should not happen happened.